Hi guys, Miss S here. I'm gonna do your homework for 6-4 and 6-5, and I guess I forgot to write and 6.5. Okay, I'm just gonna do it and explain the steps the best I can as I work through the steps for you guys. The first problem is number 3. Use the graph of triangle ABC with midsegments drawn. Find the coordinates of points D, E, and F. So I think they want you guys to probably do the midpoint formula between those points, but I don't see why you would do that when you can just look at those points. So -1, -2, -3, -4, -2. E. And I'm just literally counting. Let's see if I can show you guys the book, but probably not. It's not going to be easy for me to show you the book, so forget that. But just count to E. E is left 2, so that's a -2. And it doesn't go up and down, so that's 0. And then F. From the origin for F, I go left 1, so -1. And then down 1, 2, 3, 4, -4. Okay, number 4. Show that DE is parallel to CB and that DE is 1/2 of CB. So parallel lines have the same slope. So what I'll do is prove that they're parallel by finding their slopes. So the slope of DE, that's how I wrote it, is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That's the slope formula. Okay, so D and E, so 0 minus -2 over, so I'm taking the coordinates of D and E. So x value of E is -2 minus x value of D is -4. And negative becomes positive. Negative becomes positive. So 0 plus 2 is 2. -2 plus 4 is 2. And that's 1. So slope of DE is 1. And then I'll find the slope, we use M for slope, of CB. So I'm going to put a little CB for myself to remember. Again, slope formula y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And I'm going to take C and B. I don't have the coordinates for that written down. I'm going to write it real quick. So the coordinates for C is -1, 2, 3, -3, -6. And then B coordinates is 1, -2. So we're going to have -2 minus -6 over 1 minus -3. So plus, and that is a 4 on top, and 1 plus 3 is another 4, which equals 1, which means same slope. Therefore, these 3 triangles like this, 3 dots that make a triangle like that means therefore in math. Therefore, DE is parallel to CB. So that's the first part of this. Proving they're parallel, we just did. Now to show that DE is half of CB, I need to use the distance formula. Distance formula is that. So I need to do that with DE. Let's do it. Actually, we shouldn't put the line there now because it's not a segment anymore if we're finding the distance. Okay, x2, so e, the x value for e is -2, minus the x value of d, -4, x of e, sorry, that was x, y of e is 0, y of d is -2. And we'll start simplifying. So -2 plus 4 is 2, and then squared is 4. Let's go step by step. 2 squared plus 0 plus 2, another 2 squared. That equals the square root of 2 squared is 4 plus 4, which equals square root of 8, which reduces to 2 rad 2. But if you're not a fan of that, let's see if this old simple calculator works. Square root of 8 is about 2.83. Okay, so that was DE. Let's go see the length of CB. We'll use the distance formula again with C and B. We'll do the x2 minus x1, which honestly we did x2 minus x1 on CB, and we did all that work already, and it was 4. So I'm just going to write 4 squared minus, and then we're going to do y2 minus y1 for CB, which again we did all that work. Oh no, that's the CB. It was also 4. So 4 squared is 16. Oh, this is supposed to be a plus. I apologize. 4 squared is 16. We're taking the square root. 16 and 16 is 32. And then this comes out to 4 rad 2, which we can do this. 5.66. And then we can show that, let's see, half of 5.66 is 2.83. Half of 4 rad 2 is 2 rad 2. So we have shown that DE equals 1/2 CB. Therefore, DE equals 1/2 CB. Okay, let's keep going. Number 5. Number 5 is exactly like that, and so is number 6. So I would say use number 4 as a reference, and then just repeat those steps for those two. I'm going to move on to number 7. So for number 7, we've got a diagram, and we have this kind of thing going on. And this is x, and this is 26. And they tell us that DE is a midsegment. And the theorem about midsegments tells us when that happens, the midsegment is half the length of the side that it's across. So x will be 26 divided by 2, which is 13. For number 8, it's kind of the same. I'll draw it for the first couple, and then I'll just tell you about it. So DE and AB and C. Okay, this is 5 and this is X. So in this case, we have the mid-segment, so we have to double it to get the longer side that it's across. So X is going to equal 2 times 5 in this case, which is 10. Okay, in number 9, it's different. So A, B, D, E, C, yep. Okay, it's almost the same exact drawing. And we have A, E, D, C, B, and this is 6, and this is X. So the way mid-segments work is that they cut the line in half, and I guess I drew it kind of lopsided, but X equals 6. Because that's what mid-segments do. They cut the sides in half. And number 10 is like that. And we've got a mid-segment going on here. And this is X, and this is 8. And so X will equal 8. Because the mid-segment is going to be half of the side that it's across. But on the sides, these are going to be congruent because that's the midpoint. Okay. Let's keep going. Number 11. It says that xj is congruent to jy. Okay, so they're basically telling us that all those little lines around the pretzels are mid-segments. So we're going to determine what things are parallel to. So JK will be parallel to, so I'm looking at JK, X is across from it to the left, I look to the right and I see the side length, the whole thing, Y to Z. For 12, JL will be parallel to, so JL is right there under the mac and cheese. It's got Y above it, and then just below it, the side length is XZ. So it's going to be parallel to the side of the big triangle that it's across from. 13, XY is parallel to, so XY is a side of the big triangle. It's parallel to the mid-segment across from it, LK, or KL, however you decided to say it is fine. 14, JY is congruent to two things apparently. Let's go see what. Okay, JY is congruent to, so it's gonna definitely be congruent to XJ because XJ is, here, let me see. I want to show you guys this. Okay, so JY will for sure be congruent to XJ because that's half of this right here. But in addition to that, this mid-segment right here, LK, is half of this side that it's across from. So since JY is also half of this side right here, then JY and KL or LK are congruent to one another. So back to here. We've got that XJ, and also to LK, or KL. Again, that doesn't matter. Okay, let's keep that going. Let's do 15. So 15 says JL is congruent to, so JL is that mid segment right here. So it will be congruent to half of this side across from it, and XK is half and KZ is the other half. So over here we're gonna have XK and KZ. 16. JK is congruent to, and we're doing the same thing again. JK is this mid segment. It's across, JK is this mid segment. It's across from this side YZ, so it's half of it. And so is YL and LZ. Those are both halves of that line. So JK is congruent to YL and congruent to LZ. Okay, 17. Number 17 has this picture. And we have ABC and GHJ. And I'm actually going to move number 17 down here so I could use the picture for all of these. Okay. Is it blurry? It was blurry. Okay, 17. It says AB is 3x plus 8. So this right here is 3x plus 8. And I don't know if I should write it there or not. Let's do it. And then GJ is 2x plus 24. G to J. So all here is 2x plus 24. And they want me to find AB. Okay, so in this case, AB has to be doubled to equal GJ. So I'm going to say 2 times 3x plus 8 equals 2x plus 24. Okay. Now I've got to distribute that 2 to get 6x plus 16 equals 2x plus 24. And now I want to get the x's on the same side. I'll move the smaller one. So 2x is smaller than 6x. I'll move it by doing the opposite. If it's a positive 2x, I'll do minus 2x on both sides. And I get 4x plus 16 equals 24. Now, these are my constants. A constant means it's a number that doesn't have a variable. I need my constants on the same side. So again, I'm going to move, no matter what, the one that's with the x. Even if it's bigger or smaller, it doesn't matter. I'm going to move that to the other side so that I can help isolate that x. 24 minus 16 is 8. And now I have to get rid of that 4. Because it's 4 times x, I have to do the opposite of multiplication, which is division. Divide, divide. X equals 2. Okay, x equals 2, but this is geometry, and that's not what they wanted. They wanted AB, and AB is 3x plus 8. So I got to drop this 2 in for that x. 3 times 2 plus 8. That's 6 plus 8. So AB is equal to 6 plus 8, which is 14. Cool. Okay, number 18. They're saying AC is 3y, this guy, is 3y minus 5. And that HJ, ooh-wee, this whole thing, is 4y plus 2. And they want HB. Okay. So, again, same thing. 3y minus 5, it's a mid-segment, so I gotta multiply it by 2 to be able to set it equal to the side that's across from it, 4y plus 12. Or is that 4y plus 12 or 2? 4y plus 2. Okay. Again, distribute that 2. 6y minus 10 equals 4y plus 2. If you struggle with algebra, please pay attention. I want my y's to be together, so I'm going to move whichever side has the smallest number of y's to the other side. If it's positive, I'll do the opposite and subtract. If it was negative, I would do the opposite and add it to both sides. Okay, I got 2y minus 10 equals, all that's left on this side is now a 2. And now no matter what, I'm going to move this 10 because it's with my 2y. It's a minus 10, I'll do plus 10. Got to do the opposite to move it across the equal sign. And that scary sound is my heater. Okay, 2 plus 10 is 12. And now, again, divide by 2, divide by 2, y equals 6. And what they wanted was HB. HB is right here. Now, there's a couple ways you could go about getting that. Oh my goodness, you guys almost didn't see that. There it is. Okay, sorry. Divided by 2, got y equals 6. HB is half of HJ, so you could plug back into HJ if you wanted, but then you have to remember to divide it by 2. Or, since AC is already half, it's kind of the same, it's congruent to HB, you could just plug it into AC. One's less work and one is more intuitive, so I don't know what you prefer. Maybe I'll just do both. If you knew that AB and HB were going to be congruent, you could plug the 6 into 3y minus 5 to get 3 times 6 minus 5. Ooh, that was meant to be an equal sign. 3 times 6 is 18. Minus 5 is 13. And that would be the answer. If that wasn't that intuitive for you, you didn't make the connection that AC was congruent to HB, no problem. You could plug it into HJ, which was 4y plus 2. Plug in the 6, 4 times 6 plus 2. That's 24 plus 2, which is 26. But now you have to remember that what you found was HJ, and what you wanted was HB, which is half of it. So now you have to say that 26 divided by 2 is 13. Okay? Either way, the answer for 18 is 13. Okay, 19. GH is 7z minus 1. GH. 7z minus 1. Okay. And CB, right here, is 4z minus 3. Okay, I hope you guys are starting to feel more comfortable with this. And you're already going, CB is half of that, so I'm going to double it to get 2 times 4z minus 3 equals 7z minus 1. And hopefully you're getting comfortable with the distribution. 8z minus 6, 7z minus 1. And hopefully you're getting more comfortable with the algebra. z minus 6 equals negative 1. Add the 6, z equals 5. And what they want is GA. Where's GA? GA is right here. It's half of that, or it is equal to that. So 4z minus 3, I could just plug this in and I'd be done. 4 times 5 minus 3, 20 minus 3 is 17. And that's 19. Okay, number 20, the last problem of this section. Describe and correct the error. Okay, let's look at it. So, they've got a triangle. They're saying, okay, DE is half of BC. They're correct about that. 5 is half of 10. So by triangle midsegment theorem, AD is congruent to DB and AE is congruent to EC. Okay, this looks like super sound logic, all right? And they would be correct if DE was a midsegment. But just because it's half of BC doesn't make it a midsegment, okay? It would need to be parallel. It doesn't look parallel. They would need to tell us, you know, those little tick marks that they would have, like one little tick mark here, one little tick mark here, 2 little tick marks here, 2 little tick marks here, to tell us it's a midsegment. And they never said it was a midsegment. So we can't go using the midsegment theorem if we don't know that we have, in fact, a midsegment. So, number 20, I would say we do not have enough information to say that DE is a midsegment. That's it. That's all I can say about that. Okay. Now this video is already 27 minutes long. Holy moly, 28 almost. So I'm going to stop it here and do the 6-5 problems in a separate video.